woman named Latroya Grayson, who says she believes that she was drugged and assaulted at one of Diddy's parties in 2006. And Latoya joins us live now. This is her first time speaking out since filing this lawsuit just today. We're also joined by her attorney, Ariel Mitchell.
Latroya Grayson, a name you might not know yet, has come forward with a haunting claim. She alleges that in 2006, during one of Diddy's exclusive black parties, she was drugged and SA'd. A night she thought would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience turned into a nightmare she's been living with ever since. It all started with a dream come true. Latroya Grayson, an excited radio contest winner, was flown from her home in Oklahoma to the bright lights of Los Angeles. An all-expenses-paid trip, the promise of mingling with celebrities, and an invite to one of Diddy's exclusive black parties. What could possibly go wrong?
What happened? I mean, because I can imagine you guys won the tickets to go, which must have been pretty exciting. You were in Oklahoma, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you flew to New York. Was it with your sister?
Yes, sir.
And were you excited? I mean, what were you thinking it was going to be like?
Fun, hanging out, the normal parties, getting to take some pictures with some celebrities.
Yeah, I would imagine getting to go to a Diddy party. I mean, now we know that, what was really going on allegedly, but I'd imagine at the time that would have been exciting to win that.
But what was meant to be a night of fun quickly took a chilling turn. According to Grayson, the excitement of the party was replaced by confusion and fear. She claims she was drugged, her memories of the night becoming a hazy nightmare. The next thing she remembers, waking up in a hospital, alone, confused, traumatized. How she got there? Still a mystery. But for Grayson, this wasn't just the end of a nightmare. It was the beginning of a story that would haunt her for years to come.
And then at the party, Ms. Grayson alleges that, as you see in the lawsuit, she was drugged. She woke up and was in the hospital. Her next memory was being in the hospital. After finally returning back to the hotel, she had to leave shortly thereafter to go back to Oklahoma.
The morning after the party, as Latroya Grayson was still trying to make sense of what had happened, her phone rang. On the other end of the line was a voice, an unidentified woman with a chilling message.
And then the next day she received a call from an unidentified woman telling her that she shouldn't pursue anything against Diddy because it would be a waste of time.
It wasn't just a warning, it was a threat. A message meant to silence her, to make her second-guess herself, to keep her from seeking justice. For Latroya, this call wasn't just frightening. It confirmed her worst fears, that standing up to someone as powerful as Diddy could come at a steep cost.
Can we just for a second, I don't want to put too much on Mrs. Grayson in terms of answering a lot of questions. Today was already a hard enough day. It did take us some time even, for her to come forward and be able to, talk publicly about what happened to her. So, I hope we can just not pepper her with as many questions about, that night. So, I want to make sure I'm also preserving what we need to do for our litigation with Mrs. Grayson as well and protecting anything that she does say. I like to explain to people in the evidence rules, anything she says can be used against her. But she did want to come forward with all the allegations, with all the individuals that are making, very rarely are you seeing any of the victims actually coming forward. So today she was very brave and through her, her doubt wanted to come forward and do this program here today.
According to Grayson's lawyer, Ariel Mitchell, this kind of intimidation is far too common. For victims of powerful individuals, speaking out can feel impossible. The fear of being dismissed, retaliated against, or even harmed has kept countless people silent for decades. This is why so many of Diddy's accusers, like Grayson, are only coming forward now.
I know everyone wants to hear from the victims, but it's very traumatic having them relive these things that happened to them.
To the outside world, Diddy's parties were the stuff of legend, exclusive, luxurious, and filled with Hollywood's elite. But behind the velvet ropes, accusations suggest a very different reality. A world of excess, secrecy, and disturbing behavior. These gatherings, often described as freak-offs by some, were reportedly characterized by rampant drug use, heavy drinking, and sexual activity involving multiple participants. For many, these weren't just parties. They were environments where boundaries blurred and exploitation thrived. Latroya Grayson's story echoes those of other accusers, painting a disturbing picture of what these parties entailed. According to her lawsuit, the transportation arrangements alone raised red flags. While her flight and ride to the party were meticulously arranged, there was one glaring omission: no plan for her to leave safely.
And this was, back in 2006, during the height of Diddy's career, during the height of bad boy entertainment and the white parties. So that was part of the enticement, was to bring people who knew about these parties, who desired to go there, which is why it was such a successful contest. She went to the party, there was transportation that was arranged, hotels that were arranged, everything was all paid for, even transportation to the party. What I found to be concerning was that there was transportation to the party, but not from the party.
This lack of return transportation wasn't just an oversight. It was deliberate, her lawyer argues, an intentional choice that left guests, especially women, vulnerable and isolated. A setup designed not for safety, but for control. This pattern, meticulous control of arrivals, but neglect for departures, raises a chilling question. Was this part of a larger strategy? A system designed to create an atmosphere where exploitation could flourish unchecked? For Latroya Grayson, coming forward wasn't just about reliving a traumatic memory. It was about overcoming years of fear, confusion, and an overwhelming sense of powerlessness. Her decision to speak out now wasn't made lightly. It was years in the making. According to Grayson and her lawyer, Ariel Mitchell, the timing wasn't just personal, it was also cultural. Back in 2006, when the alleged assault occurred, the idea of taking legal action against someone as powerful as Diddy felt impossible. Let's not forget, this is Sean Diddy Combs, a man with immense influence, wealth, and an empire that extends far beyond music. For victims like Grayson, speaking out against someone like him wasn't just daunting, it felt like a losing battle from the start. But something has changed. In recent years, societal attitudes have shifted. Movements like Me Too have empowered survivors to break their silence, showing them that their voices matter and that they can be heard. Grayson's lawyer explains that this shift has created a ripple effect. Survivors from as far back as 30 years ago are now finding the courage to share their stories. What was once unimaginable is now a possibility, and Grayson is determined to make her voice part of this wave of accountability. Her decision to come forward is about more than her own story. It's about justice, for herself, for others who've come forward, and for those who still feel trapped in silence. And for Grayson, this isn't just about the past. It's about building a future where stories like hers are no longer ignored. Sean Diddy Combs is no stranger to controversy, but this time, the stakes are higher than ever. In September, Diddy was arrested on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and other serious offenses. His trial is set for May 2025, and it could mark a turning point, not just for him, but for the survivors seeking justice. The sheer number of allegations against Diddy has shifted the narrative. Each new accuser brings a piece of the puzzle, their testimonies creating a collective voice that's harder to ignore. And Latroya Grayson's story is a vital part of this unfolding case. Grayson's lawyer has made one thing clear: this isn't just about one lawsuit. It's about holding Diddy accountable for decades of alleged abuse and ensuring that survivors, no matter how long they've waited, can find justice. Grayson herself has said that her fight isn't just personal. She wants her story to inspire others to come forward, to know they are not alone. Despite the fear and challenges, Grayson has chosen to stand tall. Her bravery is a reminder that even against immense power, the truth has a way of coming to light. And with the trial looming, all eyes are on the courtroom to see what will unfold. The story is far from over. The trial is set, the accusations are growing, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So what do you think? Will justice finally prevail? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for updates on this case and more stories that matter.